Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 23rd day of fall today and I think I have enough material to talk about where I don't actually have to wait for our crop festival at the end of the month. But I will probably still do another video at the end of the month to include this festival as well as anything else that might come up from now until then. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave my house. And Taro has for us today our fall fruit sunstone. And this is the second to last sunstone in the game. So, I mean, it's a great thing. It means that we only have one more sunstone to find. The bad news is that the sunstone comes from my daughter once she grows up. And the bad thing about that is I have to wait an entire year for that to happen. If I had gotten married 1 year earlier, on my daughter's birthday 2 days from now, she would turn into a child. She would no longer be a baby, and I would be able to give her gifts in order to get her sunstone. And then we would probably be able to wrap this game up with a nice little bow going into winter, so just before year 5, but I waited too long to get married and it is coming back to bite me. So at this point, I haven't really decided what I want to do, whether or not I want to keep sort of playing legitimately or whether I just want to sell off all of my animals and basically fast forward time until we can get the last sunstone. I really, as much as this game has been fun and it's taught me a lot and I've had a lot of fun playing it, it also has gone on for a super long time. And to play another year in this game would honestly probably take me quite a while, so I'm a little undecided about what to do in that regard, but I'll come back to that later. I've got time to think about that. Now over here, my wheat has finally come in, and I actually took some of it down on my own off screen, but I thought that I would show on screen cutting some of this down, and the only reason for that is because this has taken 2 seasons, I believe, to grow. This has taken forever, and because I've had to wait so long, I want to maximize the amount of wheat that I'm going to get, and so I have packed my sickle full of orange wonderfuls. So I'm actually going to get 4 times the amount of wheat by using my sickle. Now I did have to sacrifice the range on this thing, so it is going to take me a while to actually cut down all of this wheat. But as you can see, that allows me to get 12 pieces for every 3 squares that I cut. Now, wheat flour is really, really useful in cooking, and it is also crazy expensive to buy from Chen. So I wanted to make sure that I had a lot of this stuff for me to be able to use. I probably will ship some of it as well. But just to show you what stacking these orange wonderfuls can do, I'm not going to run out of wheat. I've got a lot of options for what it is that I want to do with this stuff. And then that'll also make it so that if I'm feeling lazy and I don't feel like growing it next year, or I just don't feel like growing anything, I do decide I just want to kind of speed run through the game, then I have all this wheat at my disposal to do with what I want to. So let's have a look at our totals. I got almost 2 full stacks from that little bit that I just cut, and I do believe I have another full stack inside of my house as well that I put into my cabinet. So yeah, I have a lot of wheat, but like I said, it took me so long to grow that. I was getting a little nervous it wasn't going to come in by the end of the season, but thankfully it did. All of my crops are doing really well. I should have my carrots coming in the next couple of days. I probably have a few more harvests of yams here, which shouldn't be a problem. Before the end of the season, hopefully I'll get one more run from my eggplants, and the spinach should be coming in any day now, which of course I have to save for Felicia for our crop festival. So it did take a while to get some of these crops set up, but it has been a profitable month, as the fall season usually is. Obviously, I was able to ship some of my fruits off of my fruit trees, so any fruits that I get now I can store in my refrigerator, and I can use them to obtain recipes and such. And then my greenhouse is also looking really, really nice. I've grown some more onions and some more tomatoes. I should have some corn coming in. And again, at this point, I do believe I've got a good supply of this stuff replenished inside of my refrigerator. So I may or may not, after my corn comes in, cut all this stuff down and start over. Maybe pick something different to grow. I don't really know. We're getting into wintertime soon, and I'm gonna have a lot of free time, so I can pretty much do what I want in there. I can pick whatever season and go from there. Alright, so I'm gonna bring up my teleport stone. Just gonna look at my cabinet really quick. Yeah, so I have some rice left over. I've got some buckwheat left over. And then, as you can see here, I also have another almost completed stack of wheat. So, yeah. This stuff isn't going to go bad or degrade in quality because it's inside of the cabinet. It might degrade in freshness a little bit, possibly because it is food, but the buckwheat has been in here for a little while, and it looks like it's just kind of degrading slowly, if it does degrade at all. So I'll eventually figure out what I want to do with this stuff and go from there. My cabinet is also almost completely full. A lot of this stuff I probably don't need anymore, but I'm a hoarder, so I am keeping some of it. I do use the gold, the copper, and the silver in order to make golden lumber, but I think I only need stacks of 10 at a time, so I can probably condense this down a little bit at some point. Alright, so over to Ganon's now, using my handy stone. It is the sprite's last day of enchanting today, and obviously we spent a lot of money on the greenhouse, which was sort of the main goal. But I thought, just while the sprites are here, and because I'm gonna have to wait so long for the sprites to return, and we are getting a discount on the amount of money that we're spending, I could possibly add the bathroom. It costs $27,000 with 580 pieces of lumber. If we were to buy this now, I don't remember the original cost of this. Let's just go ahead and get Ganon to build this for us while we're here, and then that way our house is complete. Again, not an upgrade that I was worried about getting at any point because it's completely optional. You can use it as a means to recover your stamina, but because I have so many other ways to recover my stamina, it's not really a go-to option for me. It's definitely not something that I think of immediately. So if we go to bed and we wake up, you will notice that there is nothing different about the house, which might seem surprising to you because obviously Ganon did his job as proof. You can see here that he's letting us know that he put in a bath for us. But I guess when Ganon put in the toilet, he just put in the whole bathroom to begin with, and then the bath is just an afterthought because it just gets added in with your restroom, or if you were to have the bath first, Ganon would put the restroom in afterwards. But unfortunately, it doesn't make your house any larger. It doesn't add a room that you can actually physically go into and walk around in. It just gets added onto this menu here. So a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately. And the only other real upgrades inside of our house are changing the material. So if I wanted to, I could change my cabinet and my boxes down here to material stone. I do believe it's free if I provide Ganon with the material, and that would just make everything match, and it would make things in our cabinet last a little bit longer. And then on top of that, really the other thing that we can do is we can add more space, so which I might do with my cabinet. I might just make it a little bit larger. But that's kind of just one more thing off of our list more than anything else, was just to add the bathroom in. And all it is just another way to recover your stamina, similar to how the restroom works. And then finally, to end this video off, if anybody is actually out there still watching, I have a save file to load up so that we can watch Denny and Lana's wedding. This was something that I wasn't able to trigger the last time I recorded because I either had festivals coming up or it was raining. But finally tomorrow, on the 19th day of fall, they are going to get married. So let's go ahead and watch that. Lana and I are getting married. We're gonna have the wedding later today. I'd like you to be there. Will you come? I knew you'd say that. Thanks. Lana will be happy to see you there. Denny, do you swear to love and cherish Lana? I sure do. At least he had the courtesy to take his bandana off, even though he still has his bird on his shoulder. Lana, do you swear to love and cherish Denny? I do. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Didn't really expect him to have curly hair, but that's cool to see what's going on under that bandana. And Lana looks very pretty, actually. I really like the flowers in her hair. Her little choker is also really cute. And that is that. So once those two get married, Denny will move in with Lana. Which, I mean, I guess it could have gone either way because they both have their own house. Lana could have moved in with Denny, but maybe Lana's house is better suited. I'm not quite sure, but he will move in with her. He will still, I think, go back to his house sometimes. You might see him inside of his house just kind of hanging out. But for the most part, it's kind of just here now, I guess. I'm trying to think. I guess he's kind of the only one who would leave a vacant house. Because Natalie moves in with Pierre into his house. And both Julia and Elliot lived at home before they moved in when they were married. So now we have those two. So yeah, Denny's really the only one leaving an empty house on the island, which is kind of interesting to think about. And then at this point we only have one more rival couple left. Of course, Vaughn moves in with Sabrina, which is kind of a no-brainer, seeing as how she lives in a mansion. And we don't really know where Vaughn lived. It's kind of a mystery because we used to only see him 2 days a week. So I have to make a mental note to myself to be sure at some point to trigger the last event in order to marry off the last rival couple. And then once that's done, everybody on the islands will be married. And so I am just going to go back to where I started in this video and play from that point forward. Next time will be the Fall Crop Festival. And then we will be going right into winter and see what that season has to bring us. So hope you enjoyed just an update type of video, since it's been a while since I've actually done one of those. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.